Hey, Austin.
Hello as well. This is a little different. So,
Yeah, this is different. This is life. This is how it go down. And this is, and people listening need to always understand. This is what radio is like. It you don't get the pause. You just keep it going, and you bring what you know. You know, don't be one of those that call and get on the show and want to say anything, but don't say nothing about what they know. I ain't talking about nobody out there I know. By the way, you know me, a lot of time when we have the time to say something, I like to tell people about the kind of etiquette they should use coming to the radio. Because we in political season. Tell all those politicals you know this is their season. And they ain't seen many of them saying too much about the issues at hand. So uh, while the eclipse is passing today, I hope they'll pass past that silence and get to talking to us, the people. If you're running for anything, shouldn't have to hunt you down. You should be hunting us down. And you should be trying to get on every talk program that you can. And my doors and Austin doors have always been open. Um, you don't have to worry about us. We welcome you if you will come.
absolutely. Speaking of the eclipse, can you talk a little bit about it, right? Before we get into anything else, it's a big thing, right? People are coming out of town to Buffalo because it's so rare. I heard this eclipse that happened not going to happen again for 400 years. So break that down a little bit from your perspective. So I know you're a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, this is a once in a lifetime thing. I can tell you, I've never seen one, and it's an opportunity that if people want to take advantage of it, they need to be safe. I mean, people are coming from everywhere around the country to get somewhere where they can see it. Buffalo is one of the locations where they say you'll be able to see good and see it pretty good. And you've been hearing earlier that there are plenty of people in town. You'll probably see them stirring around noontime, really beginning to move about, grab something to eat, and get to their location. Now, we're down here at 665 Michigan Avenue, right next to the Pilgrim Baptist Church. And if you got nowhere to go, come on by, you know, and check us out. You know, we just been joined by Murray Holloman, and we out here in the streets. Welcome you to join us. And just know, be safe when you deal with this eclipse thing. This is not something to take for granted. You cannot wear sunglasses. You cannot wear sunglasses. And if you got children, you know what you're supposed to do with children. Do not leave them alone because you know how we children can be. We will look without paying attention to the safety. So keep them in a safe place, guide them, and don't let them get out of your hand while this eclipse is going on. It's not a joke. This is not a test. This is real. Hey, Murray, how you doing, bro?
What's up? What's going on? What's going on?
You.
Just catching up. As they got a technical difficulty to get the mic to work. We're rolling out. Hey, what's going on, WFO? Hey, check it out. Mr. Anderson said it very, very clear that just be careful, folks. Just don't look up at the sun. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, it's going to get dark. For some people that don't listen to radio and TV and the hoopla, some things going to happen. Some animals going to get a little crazy on us. But it's important that, you know, here in the city of Buffalo, because they done sent everybody here. And I believe we got a helicopter flying by, and Niagara Falls is on full. I don't know. It seems like there's a Million Man March happening all over again. I'm still kind of low. Hey. But I don't know. But yes, I'm speaking up loudly now. I know how to protect my voice, but I know one thing's gonna happen is it's gonna be cloudy, so they a little bit ticked off. Some people were price gouging with hotels and things like that there. Like crazy. We ain't talked about that. You know, economics, what's happening with this solar eclipse thing. Some hotels, people were like banking up, you know, 25 rooms and things like that there. Everybody knew about coming to Buffalo.
That's it. I mean, go ahead, bro.
And this is what we talked about, even going back all the way to the stadium. The stadium being in Orchard Park.
Right.
We don't have the infrastructure as a city. We wonder why we're struggling because when money comes in, we're not prepared to capitalize on it. We don't have the businesses. We don't have the capacity, right? We don't plan ahead. And so what happens is is that people, whether they have short-term rentals over here, their hotels, the people that plan ahead, all the money that's supposed to come to Buffalo goes to 5 people's pockets, and then they leave town. So we need to be a little more smart and proactive when we get opportunities like this, because we see what happens with things like the Bill Stadium, and now we're paying the result. We see what happens with things when we let them go, and so I think the Eclipse gives me another chance as a young person to see that my city needs a lot of work, because there's a lot of money that we should have been touching as a community, especially people that look like us.
You got that right. I mean, look at it. Where's the hotel on the east side? Where's the, you know, if you got people, check, listen, especially those that are living on the east side.
We're going to have to get tighter for the set. We want to be a little tighter.
If you have someone who's coming into town visiting you,
right?
You don't even have a hotel.
Come on over here, Mr.
A hotel near you where you can
see us all.
You don't even have a hotel where you could tell your loved ones to go to.
Wow.
You know, because you haven't built it. That's one of the things that when Austin say, be in position and take advantage of opportunities, we're dispositioned. And you know, that's what, look, Murray, that's one of the things about the political shakeup.
Yeah, the shakeup.
You know, because
everybody been shut down.
Yeah, we've been shook. And we ain't getting nothing out of it. We were shooken and the stuff was taken out of us. So, you know,
I'm gonna give you something right now. I pulled up here to the site right here. This is a historical landmark here with Pilgrim Baptist Church and things in the African corridor. And when I was pulling up, I witnessed something that I've never seen before. We lost out on the opportunity to own this building here, and there's some other folks living in there. Wow. So I was like, how did we lose our history again, and then they benefit from revitalization grants? And so now when we have events here, these folks are probably going to be a little bit resistant.
Yes, they are. And then, you know, and this is part of the legacy. I'm just going to say the horror story of the Palladino connection. I mean, because Palladino, which you believe on.
Somebody got to turn off their car because they got a rod thrown. That's Buki car with a rod thrown in it.
Palladino on a lot of property in the African heritage.
Nobody can hear it on the line.
You know, ain't that a blur?
Wow.
Wonder how that happened. You know, these greedy realtors, here's what they do. They buy early, even because they know development is coming.
Right.
So they buy in early while it's cheap and you can't afford it and haven't fixed it up and we don't have a safety net to keep it in our community. And what they wind up doing is being in the favored position to take advantage of opportunities like this. But we ain't mad because we're on the rise.
Right. That turning that that speaker here.
We're calling it out. We're calling it out. The change that's needed is occurred. So have no doubt. You know, just because we're on top of the mountaintop, that ain't where the real work is done.
Right.
The real work is done going up the mountain.
So it's like a holiday, a man-made holiday they just came up with for the eclipse. I mean, we ain't getting paid for it, but we're here. Everyone has taken off from work, you know, and I'm like, wow. I mean, if we could do this way. I remember going to the Million Man March and we took off something like this day.
Yes, right.
It was history being made. Atonement is happening across the nation right now. Everyone is kind of confused about what the eclipse is going to bring. What's on your mind, Mr. Anderson? Do you got any doubts? Is the world going to end or what? You know that mystery. This is the shakeup. This is what we're doing. WFO. Let me know now. I want to be at the right place now.
The political shakeup is going to occur, but people don't. The world ain't going nowhere. It's going to get damaged if we keep letting them make a bunch of nuclear weapons and continue war. You can believe.
You said something good.
Not only is it going to get damaged, a lot of people are going to lose their lives.
I think they shoot up some rockets or something that, you know, the story's going all out today.
Listen, look, you got this situation today is a very, very, very solemn moment because everybody in their peace. See, everybody ain't enjoying enjoying the eclipse like us.
Right.
Right now.
Where we going to be? Right here at Pilgrim. What's this address we're going to be at?
65 Michigan. You can't miss us to come on down and grab something, come on down, share something. You know what? If you come on down, you can get the mic. Oh, what you say to that? You ain't got to call. You don't have to call it. You can get the mic. Come get the mic. You know, don't stand on the corner crapping and carrying on. Bring it. You know, listen, we're gonna have some groovy music. That's right.
I don't know about the young folks. You got to put the pitch out.
If you can handle it,
come on out.
And if you can't handle it, we'll take care of you. It's just like a nursing station. You get down here, you'll be all right. You'll find out what life is like. You're gonna find out a whole lot of love down here. If you're lonely today, come on down.
This where
we got a spot for you.
What is he? A bishop now? If we giving Bishop Bostic, this is his area. He always do great events right here, concerts and all that here. This location, don't know, is in between Sycamore and Genesee Street, and that's where we're gonna be located. This building is history with Underground Railroad, things like that there. So Austin, you get an opportunity to place your feet on here and you know, and go in that direction. What's up, brother?
It's a lot of history, Buffalo. It's a lot of things that I wasn't aware. We were talking before the show that Jimmy used to go to this church as a young person. And so not that you're not still young, but to that point, it's crazy. And you don't talk to people, you can never know how deep the history goes in the city. And I think that each again, the thing that's the most frustrating really is it feels like there's so many great things in the city that just don't go spoken about. There's so much information, whether it's from people wiser or from the younger, that's just not being passed like it needs to. And again, I can't speak for every community, but for my community, I know if I wouldn't have come out to this event, I would have never learned how to drove by this church for the rest of my life, never knowing how important it was to the city.
This whole area is history. If you look at these buildings and the age on the building, they wasn't just built, and they were built with real brick, not this fabricated stuff.
Little Harlem cross the street.
And all around us. You know, you see all these buildings all around now. These buildings weren't here. This was a community. You have residents all up and down. There was no vacant space. Everywhere you went. And you know what? Numerous black businesses existed. If you go over 3 or 4 blocks to get over to William Street, you'll find that was one of the elements of them starting to cut through the community when they started building that stretch in William Street right there by Town Gardens and stuff.
So you had the housing, mostly people came here, moved into these buildings with 25 apartments. Well, really wasn't apartments, but little small things for families to grow. And then they moved out into the Town Gardens and areas like that.
That's right.
That's when you have all the housing development. I don't want to call it projects, but that's what they were called.
This is a very, sustainable. I mean, look, we as young people, we used to shine shoes, hustle papers, pick up rags, whatever. You did. Go to the grocery stores with our wagon, do wagon service, help people get their groceries home. You know, I mean, it was a working community at all levels, young folks.
So he missed out on it.
And that's what I'm saying even today. Right? I've seen Miss Sheila with an Eclipse shirt on. I bet if I went to a lot of other major cities, up and down major streets, people with stands, with selling t-shirts, selling wares. This is an event that we're missing. Like that same mindset that you're saying, it's a city that when people tell me in history was so vibrant and enterprising, everybody wanted to get after it. And now, where is it?
We missed the mark.
With the youth, when we see this disconnect between old generation and the youth, because we're talking about what we should be doing, we've never seen it. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And so I think that there needs to be some more conversations being had to help young people understand that, yes, you know, get a job and things of that nature, but there's money to be found if you're looking to find it. But I think that we just don't even know the avenues that you guys were so accustomed to using.
Hey, I'm telling you, look, you know this church here, Pilgrim, we used to come over here, we had junior usher board. We used to come over here and have our meeting after Sunday service. You still come over here, you practice what you learn. I mean, you're talking about a safe environment, everything you needed. Everybody was a mother, everybody was a father. They fed us. When you were in there, you just felt comfortable. You know nothing about the dangers of the world.
Right.
And this church has a legacy. And again, I tell anybody, come down here and just stand and look at the brick that this church is made of. you're not looking at something like I said that's done recently.
So who did the brick? The brickwork was done by Germans. Let's be clear, because we didn't build all this stuff. I'm just giving you some history.
We can't. We didn't. If you look at this community, you'll see some steeples around that are not familiar to us. Because we didn't build the stuff. But when you go into an area and you occupy it, because there's been waves of people, there've been Italians, there've been Germans, there've been Jews, and they move on. As they rise up, they move on. And we need to be able to do the same thing. But don't move on from having torn down, keep up and build it up.
And stop missing opportunities. Like I said, the building next door is right in the heart of the Black community. And when I seen the people that's living there, I said, how do we get infiltrated? Sometimes we get infiltrated because we're too busy fighting each other for economics and things like that. And I know, Austin, you're deep on that thing there, right?
I want to ask you a question. I just in the community. What you were talking about was something that I was even talking about at work. They're called third-party spaces, right? Spaces where young people in general can go and just be themselves. And as time has went on, like you talked about, you used to be able to just probably go to church. There was rec centers to meet people and just be a kid. But as time goes on and we become used to our phones, and this becomes our chat room, we've lost those physical spaces. Murray, as a man in the community, what avenues or what spaces do you find that are still safe for kids like me to just be a kid?
Well, first of all, home. Let's be clear about that. The homes are more safer than our streets right now. We thought our schools were safer, and that's not true as well. So we have centers that we're starting to do with our organization, Stop the Violence, Buffalo Back to Basics, and Buffalo Night Front. We have safe zones that we secure, and that's the key part about us securing it. Even when you go on the west side to push Buffalo, they have indoctrinated into the community of ways to make things safe so people can feel safe when they walk to those places, and they can get the resources and become the next activists like Jim Anderson and such as myself, and then now to you to push the message. So is it safe? I mean, we're in the safe zone right now, right here in this place right now, we're in the safe zone. But if someone wants to do something to us, it's hard work. Even with our Juneteenth, I run the security for that part. There's a lot of work that goes into making sure that that's safe. We have the largest festival in the United States, and the longest is almost 3 hours long, folks. I think we're breaking the Guinness Book of Records of longest parade, but it takes a lot of work to make that safe. And then here we are, because in Kansas City, you can remember they had $1 million, and then Lee Pettigrew just walked in on. He's on the set. That's the man. But what happened in Kansas City, folks thought it was a terrorist act. But what I noticed was it was some young men with their pants off their butt, and I automatically knew that it was gang related. You see what I'm saying? But people don't pay attention to things like that there. So when we have 1 million plus of people in one area, things are going to happen. And when the gun coming in, it's going to play a major part instead of fighting the differences out with words.
And I bet back in the day, right, so Jim, how did these safe spaces exist? Because violence isn't new, right? Violence has been around. What was the mindset of a community? One thing I want to say, I think for me, I'm going to use the example of asking for a glass of water. I had a young man who was going by my house, we lived by a park, and he said, hey, can I have some water? And at first I was a little hesitant, and I said, of course you can have some water. But that pause for a second really made me think, have we gotten so far in society that a kid asking for a glass of water is rare? If I can't look out for you, how can I ever make you feel secure? So you explained to me back in the day, though violence was around, what was the community mindset that allowed kids to feel safe?
Because I think it's because the adults in the community at that time, they did what they were supposed to do. I said earlier about every mother was everybody's mother, every father was everybody's father, but it was always the mothers. It was the mothers who held it down all the time. And what they would do is, look, if you weren't doing the right thing, don't worry, the word will get back. But you also ingrained in yourself that you didn't want to let them down. Look, I mean, young people had their mind. We had our mind about trying different things. But what it came to is that you didn't want to do something that would reflect back to your mom, and you caught, and you will surely be caught. If people will come out, see you doing something, they'd be on their porch. You think you're somewhere where nobody know you. You know, stop that. Leave that alone. Get away from there. You know, and not only that, They tell you about picking up garbage off you. So instead of, you get in the habit of dropping a banana peel and all kind of stuff on the sidewalk like it's okay. In those days, they call you out. And so what you had was a value line. The value line was held. The accountability for the value line is to every adult. That's how young people learn. They don't. It's not osmosis. They don't just get it. They learn. They become what they see. They see that, hey, in a certain place you have to behave a certain way. They grow to that. But we lost out on that. When drugs started to come, when more young folks were being sent to war, particularly the Vietnam War, when the racism that still exists was starting to really bubble up here, things started to change drastically.
And I believe, in my opinion, I believe there were certain spaces back in the day that everybody went to. Churches especially were a place where we could uphold the value line, where I could meet my neighbors and things of that nature. How do you guys think now, right? Because everybody just doesn't go to church like they used to. You can't assume. You can't assume these things.
You have people in the community who start Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts. You have people in the look. You have the PAL. This was a time when the PAL existed. It gave you a place to go to, like community centers is supposed to do. You have Westminster. Westminster, the house over there, really did a lot of work working with young people. There were a lot of spots to go to. But again, the intervention that I think was a challenge was not only the drug, because drugs started to corrupt people more. It increased the stealing, it increased the lying, and increased the death. So a lot of people lost their lives. Even today, you can see some remnants of people who got lost back there.
So, Mr. Anderson, he forgot to leave out some parts. And Black Panthers started the lunch program, things like that there. You have organizations. You guys did more protesting then during that era because you have Martin Luther King, you have Malcolm X, and I'm just sending these out. You have people that encourage you across the nation to do some things. This is how Buffalo became with NAACP, National Action Network, things like that there were in place to make this thing roll. And so when you ask the question about how did his generation do it, now all we see is just their pictures, and we barely see their pictures. Well, one time when you went into a home, you seen a picture of who? Martin Luther King, Kennedy, right? You barely see Malcolm X, but you seen them. And Jesus, all on the same wall.
Get you a Kennedy rug.
Right. And so now, here we are now. Yes, here we are now today. We don't have those models. We don't have those photos that is up on a wall because technology has moved into the place of it, and now people are not figuring out who are the next generational people that have the work. So you are that person.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson, coming from the era of the Black Panthers and my dad and them all there. And Simba.
The folks you roll with. Yeah, it was a growing time. Every time was a growing time and learning time. And you have to be quick. And I can tell you, it was beautiful. Listen, back in the day, I shouldn't even say back in the day, because even today, some of the racist events that were going on around the country, it also helped to bubble up people. Because whether it was on you personally, anyone that looked like you, it bothered you. Eventually, you go to the point you just know that is wrong behavior, no matter who it's happening to. So you had this evolving. I mean, people were growing forward. I mean, you can't have a strong faith community that is teaching you how to live, and you go many years and still don't know how to live with your neighbor who don't look like you. Right. See, and now we're in this moment where we have to begin to look beyond. Are they the same colors and stuff? Look, nothing wrong with being pro-Black. They're no different than somebody being pro-Jewish or pro-whatever. But the need for us to embrace all of humanity is something we have to do. Because the ills that hurt us, the wrong behaviors that hurt us are practiced by all kinds of people. That's why our value have to say no to those kinds of behavior. Not if you get a pass because, oh, that's my bro, oh, that's my cousin. No, we dealing with, when you're dealing with another human, you got to treat them like you want to be treated.
Kanye West is your generation, but mostly we're a little bit older than you. But remember when he was standing in front of Michael Myers, I believe, and he said, "President Bush does not like who? Black folks." And that was a statement being made at that time. And he looked, and the white guy looked up and said, "Oh, I guess you use your platform the right time." So that's what we have to do. Even we're here at the station at WFO, Mix 1080, 90 Power 96.5 with Shine in the house. I ain't heard him give me no signals or anything. So we must be rolling. But we down here. I believe the burn off is coming. Don't you feel some heat?
Yeah, look, we're going to get Pacific.
Maybe the fog going to lift up because
hey, listen. By the way, we're going to take an offering out here today. Look, everybody running. Everybody running. That's right.
So I have a question, right? I'm listening to what you guys are talking about. You guys, one thing you guys mentioned was so important is this advocacy. That we need people that are going to be advocates for the community, voices for the community. You guys even talked about myself, and hopefully I do pray that one day I'm in a position to be able to speak at level.
Already doing it. You're doing it.
My question is, or not question, can you guys just recollect? It's a journey, right? Everybody has Malcolm X. He started Malcolm X. He had to work his way up. MLK. So what can you guys remember were some of the steps in history to those great advocates for our community getting to that level?
Yeah, TV for me. Arrested. Yeah. What did he say? Lee?
You know, honestly, you know what's really the stronghold? Getting into your Bible. Thinking back in those days, having been in the Sunday school and getting introduced to the scripture. You know, getting into that, reading that, feeling them. You know, right. You don't have to worry about it touching you. Once you start reading it, it'll touch you. You may try and shape it one way, but it'll wrestle you to where you need to be. It ain't gonna make you do a certain thing, but it's gonna stir you because we already know what's right. We just got to deal with that part of us that's too weak sometimes to do the right thing, and that, you know, that's not getting overly preachy. That's just a fact. Wow. You know, we're not 100% perfected people. So if we're not 100% perfected, that means at some point we're going to be on the wrong side of an issue. And that means, okay, so when you're on the wrong side of the issue, how do you respond? When somebody's trying to hip you, bring you forward, do you resist or do you take the learning and grow forward? And that sometimes, you know, we like to think, oh, no, somebody correct me, I'm good with it. But we have to deal with that part that don't necessarily like it so much.
You hear him talking. You hear him talk. I believe my era, because I'm 60 now and I don't mind saying it, but I remember watching TV and TV went off the air at a certain time. It used to be the national anthem, and then the TV went.
Right.
The only thing was on the air was WUFO. You know what I'm saying? Those stations were on there that was keeping us on the speed of what was going on in our community. And that's what we had to start going back to, listening and getting our children to listen to these stations, because we're the only station that leave you an opportunity to speak. The other stations don't give you opportunity, platform to speak about what's going on in your community. And this is what WFO has been doing for years, and with the help of Ms. Sheila Brown over here, setting up some flowers and all that there to go forward. I'm expecting a full house today. But what time does the eclipse happen? We got to be clear on what time you say.
Three. It's a little bit after 3 that it'll start. And we'll know. You'll start seeing the sky getting a little dark. It's really a 2-hour event.
But this is what I'm saying. So he's saying the time. What if that person just walking down the street, haven't heard the news or radio? He gonna think the world ended. So right, and then it's gonna flashback. Right, he's gonna say, "What's going on?" We done seen our President Obama. We done had a black female president, and things are happening in our era that never would happen before, but it was talked about. Right?
Look, listen, where we are, the things that are happening in the world today, it was hard to imagine. But, you know, even Hollywood couldn't get to it. You know, and, you know, it's always a question, which came first, the real life happening or what Hollywood made and then it happened in life.
So he getting everything. I mean, you getting a lot in your era of your age.
Yeah,
because you can be like, man, when you get about 60, they ain't gonna believe all that. You know, I was there for the eclipse. They're gonna say, well, another one coming. You know, if it happens that way. But You have to tell the story. You have to be the gatekeeper for the new generation. And how old are you now?
19.
Oh, he's just a baby.
Yeah, baby. I'm having a birthday Saturday.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'll be 75.
75 years old. 75 years old. That's God. Three scores. They take the flowers back. They got
$7.50 from everybody.
75 years old. So I mean,
what more? We get 1,000 people give me $7.50.
So we know the shakeup is coming. Let's talk about the shakeup real quick. We know that Legislator Baskin is running for Senate. Kudos to her for running. We know Senator Kinney is running for Senate. We've been trying to get them on the air, but they ain't returned our calls. I know they listen to this station, and they always be at the station.
Well, let me tell you what he did. Tim Kennedy put an ad on TV. I ain't mad. Tim see me, he always Jim, and I'm Tim. When you gonna come see me? But I also, the only thing I didn't like about the ad, he talked about what he did was part of doing at the state level.
Right.
But you're going for a Fed job. I want to know what you know about the Fed issues going on now. I want to know what you got to say about what's happening in Gaza. I haven't heard your voice. I want to know what you got to say about us having a ceasefire established. You're going into a level of government, you're hoping to go into it, that you got to talk about different issues than we talk about at the state level. I'm waiting to hear you, Tim. I'm not being hard on you, but it's the duty of the people
to
call you out.
Hard. I mean, look, man, it's the Jim Anderson show. You know what? Let's be clear on that.
I don't want you to run.
A little soft.
Yeah, I wanted to know that I love him, and I love him to be a good representative as we get in there. But the way you start off by being good. Come talk to us. We the ones who got to vote for you.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
They started coming cheers.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've seen a couple races, political races, now being part of this show. I'm gonna say that as much as we can call them out, we're only 3 votes.
Let me show the
So
people.
it takes
Better
2
hurry
to
up.
put the pressure on them. And if you keep just smiling when it comes to churches, and you keep just doing these things, it's great. But the issue is, we as a community, as voters, need to vocalize our numbers. People forget that. Yeah, we all count as one. We need to vocalize and utilize our numbers to say, if you don't explain to us what you can do, we like you, but we don't vote for personality, we vote for competence.
Right. How you doing, Miss Smith? Miss Smith is here. Yeah, that's Stan Smith, mom, and Bill Smith, and she's a long-time member of the church. You know her, right there, coming right there with a hat on her head. She's been a long-time member of the church. I think. Yes, how you doing, Miss Smith? How long you been a member of the church? Because Mr. Anderson said he was a member here as well.
I was a member at New Hope Baptist.
Okay.
This is what we
Oh, yeah, 66. Wow.
You came to Buffalo, you was already in Buffalo.
No, I wasn't already. I was in Alabama. I came from Alabama. Yeah.
My condolences to them losing the game the other day.
Well, that's okay. We got to learn how to lose some and win some.
She's the product of Box Street.
You see, now listen, you see the wisdom how just come out of, when you live a while, you know some things, you learn some things, and you know how to just bring it out at the right time. Yeah. Well, you got the
Stan, Stan Smith.
Stan on here, he ain't on the radio. He ain't on the radio, so I'll just leave it. I don't know nobody that's on the radio today.
Well, you on the radio today.
Well, thank you for being here. Would you say your name one more time?
Katie Smith.
Katie Smith. Y'all remember?
We in there helping with the food in there. We passing out the food.
Hey, y'all better get down. Y'all heard the magic word.
We left somebody in there to watch over while we come. We taking turns.
Oh, okay, good. See that they're passing out food. They got all kind of things down here, and you should come on down. 665 Michigan Avenue, right next to Michigan Baptist Church.
I think we're about to close on out, so I'm gonna go ahead and initiate our last words that we want to say. We might go in this way. We'll go youngest to oldest, and I'll say my last words.
No, I'm giving mine to you because I'm following you on the lead. Yeah, I just want to say, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming out here. Don't go away without getting a little something. And remember, children, make sure your eyes are covered properly during the eclipse. Parents, adults, remember, make sure the kids are not looking at that eclipse without the proper glasses.
Well, it's clear. He said it clearly. Don't peek on the sides. Make sure that you don't look so long at the sun. But if you don't even want to look at the sun, just pray. I believe prayer works, and this might be a time for prayer.
Absolutely. Thank you, Buffalo, for coming out and staying with us for a little bit while we're out here. Make sure to come down and check us out live. We appreciate you. We'll be here next week. Thank you.
The Jim Anderson Show.
We out. Yeah.